Hi, I'm Jenny from the Missouri Star Quilt Company, and I am here today with Lynne Hagmeier, and Lynne has some exciting stuff coming up that we're going to talk about. So
we do. Brand new book coming out in August.
And tell us about that.
Well,
this is it.
I wanted, it's called Layers of Love. Tried to come up with a name that incorporated our layered patchwork technique, and also because each one of the quilts was made especially for one of our 8 grandkids. That's the love part.
Do you actually give them the quilts?
They thought they were going to get them immediately. And I said, that's not how this works, dear. It's going to be at least 2 years. So we are slowly trying to make duplicates. But yeah, I mean, I got to keep the original.
You do.
It's been a year in the works. So
that's what people don't realize. You really do have to keep those.
Oh yeah. So we are in the process of making duplicates, and some of the grandkids, obviously the one behind me is not the newest Kansas Trolls fabric, but that's the one that Delaney requested. So I'm trying to get some of them to let them pick their own fabric out of the pattern. But several of the patterns were named by the grandkids when they saw the quilt. They chose the quilt they liked, and
that's
they
very
named
cool.
it like Cooper's Crossing and Rowan's Rail. So it really has been fun, and collecting their pictures and doing the little bios on them.
Yeah, there's lots of little stories in here about them. That's really fun. Really fun, and great ideas. I mean, amazing ideas. So Lynne's patchwork method is where you actually you put pieces on top. There are no set-in pieces. There are no Y seams. There's nothing crazy. You just cut the shape and sew it right to the top, and it's amazing. It simplifies things like 1,000,000%. She's a genius, really a genius.
Well, I appreciate that. But it actually comes as much the inspiration from quilters who struggle with little pieces.
Oh yeah.
And can't press correctly or get 1/4-inch seams right, and then their blocks come out wonky, and then, I mean, you start with uneven blocks in the middle, and it just goes right to the
It does
borders.
go a little crazy. It can.
So the less seams you have and the less pressing and piecing you have, the more perfect your blocks will be, and the more perfect and flat. And I'm not totally into perfection, but flat is a good thing. I mean,
yes,
ripples and
flat is a very
borders,
good.
yes,
well, I tell people all the time, what we're working for here is a flat quilt top.
Yes.
You know, it doesn't matter exactly which way you press your seams. It matters that the quilt is flat.
Exactly.
We're looking for that.
Exactly.
All right. So along with this, you have also come up with an amazing way of cutting these new hexagons that are out that stymie people. People don't exactly know how to do with it. Now, this is a separate product that you buy, and this is like one of those things that I think is worth its weight in gold. So on here, I don't know if you can see this or not, but there are the outlines of different sides of the hexagons, so that when you cut them, you get exact halves and quarters. And I mean, it just really makes it simple. And you can also use this, I understand, to center up a hexagon in the middle of a layer cake.
Right. The ruler is actually 10 inches long. So you just line the ruler up along the 10-inch side of a layer cake, and it will perfectly center a 6-sided object in the middle of a 4-sided object.
That is awesome.
So that makes it really easy to work with. They intimidated me at first when Moda first sent me a pack, and I really didn't know what to do with it, but it's like,
I didn't either.
I'll do what I do with everything else, and I'll layer it and stitch it, and we'll slice it up and put it back together, and it works beautifully. But it was difficult having to measure, because a 6-inch hexagon is not 6 inches both directions, because it has 6 sides.
It has points, yeah.
Right. So it was difficult to figure out how to center it, how to perfectly cut it into fourths. The ruler was more out of necessity than anything, but it really is a good tool. There are a couple of projects in the new book. There's a booklet that we have called The Bee's Knees that has 2 projects using this.
Awesome.
And I'll be using it in the future because it is just so darn fun.
Yeah, and they're amazing. I mean, this stuff looks like really hard stuff. One of her projects is right behind us. And I mean, literally, it's a big square with 2 little triangles sewn on it. And when you put it all together, it makes these awesome pinwheels. And so she just has a way of doing things that just totally simplifies it. So that's really cool. So how many projects are in this book?
There are 8 grandkids and my daughter and an extra, so there are 10 unique projects, but then we've done some lap size and then added a pillow or a runner or
so there's
bonus
lots
projects.
Of projects.
So
That's
there's
fun.
21 actual projects.
Oh, that's
in the
very
book.
cool.
So for it's a very reasonable price for the amount of projects you get.
Gosh, yeah, that's a great idea. So what else do you have coming up besides these? You know, you have your book, you have your ruler, you have something to do with these fabulous hexagons.
The next batch of honeycombs, Moda calls the hexagons honeycombs, will be cut from the new fabric line Paisley Park,
Yeah.
which is really, really fun. If you love Paisleys, I am really excited about the new line. We have a new KT Basic line, which I'm so excited about.
Now, is
because
this different than the favorites?
It is.
Oh.
Basics is
They
like
don't go
the
away.
solids. They don't go away.
Okay, cool.
And they will actually have pre-cuts available over and over and over again. So it isn't a one-time thing.
Oh,
So
and those
that
things
will
are
be
so
great.
helpful. Anytime you're piecing anything, because you need those filler blender pieces.
Right.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Right. So, and they will, the basic line obviously is basic. It's some of my good classic basics from the past, but it will blend and go with virtually any other line of Kansas Troubles. So I'm really excited for
Oh,
that.
that's really cool. That's one of the things I actually love about the way you guys design is that basically, if I have fabric that's a couple of years old, it's still going to go with the fabric that you have now because this is what you love.
That's the whole point
Yeah.
of a stash.
That's the whole point.
It is. If you have fat quarters from 5 years, you can always
That's
go
right.
find background and borders to go with it.
So now we'll have pre-cuts in that as well.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's awesome. So anything else new?
That's about it. We're doing quilting retreats, as you guys
Yeah.
are, at our place. And Jenny and I are putting together
We actually did a retreat together here a
we're
while
putting
back,
some
and that was
projects
a lot of
together
fun.
for the future too. So just lots of new
Oh,
stuff.
yes, we are. Keep your eyes and ears tuned. You
never know where we're
going to show up. That's right. So when are these coming, and where can people find them?
Your local quilt shop or on Missouri Star or our website. The rulers are available now. We already have a couple of
And
other
these are awesome.
patterns. If you're going to work with hexagons, it really is a handy tool to
It really
have.
is.
Layers
So
of Love is at the printer now and will be available the middle of August.
Okay.
And then Paisley Park, the newest fabric line, should be shipping to quilt shops in September.
Boy, one right after the other
I
after
know.
the other. Oh, that's awesome.
Never a dull moment.
Well, we hope you enjoyed your time with us here on Quilt Talk. I'm Jenny Doan from the Missouri Star Quilt Company here with Lynne Hagmeier. Thanks for joining us.